Fred Barstein with 401k TV, and this week's Fred Talks, we're privileged to have Terry Power from the Platinum 401k, who is really one of the biggest, most acknowledged experts in the MAP, or multiple employer plan. So we're going to talk a little bit about MAPs and open MAPs. Welcome, Terry, to the Fred Talk.
Glad to be here.
So Terry is the owner of the Platinum 401k. He's a TPA and a 316, which means a co-fiduciary on administrative functions, as opposed to the 321 or 328, which deals with investments. He's been in business since 1981 and has worked in the past for John Hancock.
That's correct.
So, okay, if we ask you a few questions.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
Very good. So tell us, what is a MAP?
Multiple employer plans have been around since the 1950s. They are retirement plans that are made up of companies that lack the ownership connection that would bring them together under a regular traditional single employer plan. This might be groups such as members of the American Bar Association, for instance. Their law firms can join under the ABA plan. That's a MAP.
And why do plan sponsors want to join? What's the benefit of a MAP?
The real benefit for a MAP is it allows them to run their 401k plan in much the same manner as they run all their other employee benefit programs. What they would be doing, if you wanted to cover your employees if they were injured or sick, you could go ahead and negotiate with hospitals or doctors or pharmacies, or just sign up with a carrier and they make all those decisions. And when you think about it, that's the way every employee benefit program works, except 401k.
They're designed, each plan is designed individually.
Exactly, and the employer has to become an expert or hire experts to help them with documents and investment fund selection and monitoring, beneficiaries. It's a quagmire that many cases that results in pretty serious issues if they don't do it perfectly.
And they all have to design their own investment menu. Right?
Exactly, and they're liable for it too. Under a MEP, that doesn't happen. Usually there's a 338 investment manager. All those decisions are made.
And a 316.
And a 316, so that liability is outsourced. It's really 401k outsourcing is what MEPs are all about.
And there's some flexibility still within the MAP.
Oh, absolutely. Plan design for a MEP in many cases is identical to what an employer could get if they just had a single employer plan.
Like auto enrollment and what the default option is.
Yep.
So I know there's pending legislation about an open MAP, because today companies, to join a MAP and to get the full advantage of the reporting, ease of reporting, there has to be some affiliation or
a nexus, a commonality between
like the
them.
American Bar Association.
Correct, or a PEO. Employee leasing companies have to use a MEP. Actually, as of 2002, they must use a multiple employer plan. But in an open MEP relationship, that you don't have that commonality or that nexus, so there are some additional reporting requirements that the IRS requires you to put in place, such as individual 5500s, individual audits.
So everybody is, everyone I've talked to, all legislators, regulators, they seem to be for these open MAPs. What's holding it up, and what's the prognosis for us to get some legislation on this?
Well, this is the same gridlock that occurs in Washington. No difference here. The only glimmering point of optimism we have is that the new EBSA secretary, Preston Rutledge, is actually the author of the Retirement Enhancement Security Act of 2016. He wrote it as part of the Senate Finance Committee. He is now the Assistant Secretary for Employee Benefits. We're hoping that he wants to go through and push that agenda, and it's already actually passed again the Senate Finance Committee. There's companion bills in the House, and there's an additional bill. There's actually 3 different bills right now, all of which would be tremendous for employers and would offload liability, take care of the so-called one bad apple rule, and also eliminate individual audits for employers that are all participating inside of a MEP.
Cool. So we have hope if Washington will get through.
Hope springs eternal in the multiple employer plan arena.
Very correct. Good. Well, great. Well, thanks for your time, and thanks for watching 401k TV, and look for and ask your TPA or advisor about MAPs and whether they might actually apply to you. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching 401k TV.